Good evening, and welcome to another nauseating version of Diatribes from the Voice of Doom. Now here's your nebulous and negative host, Voice of Doom. Yeah. Alright. I wanted to do a diatribe today to commemorate and or pay homage to October 7th, 2023, which was a dark day in history, and one which we're not privy to knowing the details because they're too egregious. And I think that's a big mistake, because I think if more people knew what happened on that day, they would be more on the same page as to how we respond and how Israel and all the other people respond. But I was going to do an early diatribe because I wanted to get in a prognostication before it happened, but I realize that it's not, necessarily true that the terrorists will commemorate their great victory on October 7th by repeating a stunt on October 7th of 2024. So nothing of note happened as far as any atrocities. But the other side's been decimated, and I endorse that, and I think they should decimate, and they should make it clear that any more terrorism is going to be dealt with exponentially worse than what happened in the first place. Vis-a-vis, say you're a terrorist and you blow yourself up in Tel Aviv, then wherever you came from is going to be blown up 10 times more. That's the only way they're going to get this over with. I mean, I can only put it in words that are very eloquently put by parents of a person who was kidnapped and taken hostage by Hamas on October 7th. And they were on the news and they talked about, that their son was about to celebrate his 23rd birthday, or 22nd, in a week, and he went to a concert and he was taken hostage. So he spent his birthday in captivity, and he's spending his second birthday in captivity if he's not released in the next week. And as we have seen from previous experience, what these Hamas characters do when their back is against the wall is they execute the hostages that are in their care. So there's no mercy, and there should be no mercy. The only way to deal with this kind of stuff is draconianly, and you have to understand karmic retribution. All the kids in Gaza have led horrible lifetimes, lifetime after lifetime, and now they're paying. And that's the way it is. People have to get with it and understand. But the thing that they were saying at the very end, which I titled my video, is, "Where's the outrage?" And they're referring to the initial attack in October 7th, the taking of hostages, the execution of hostages, and the hostages remaining in captivity while they're trying to negotiate some sort of a treaty. Now, in America, what used to be America, even now, in this day and age where we don't give a crap about this country, if we were bombed indiscriminately and 200 or 300 people were taken hostage and carried off to Tijuana, all hell would break loose. Everything would go up in smoke. We would bomb and bomb and bomb and bomb until they said, please allow us to return your people. So, all this hoopla about Israel should not extend the war, not make it bigger. Every word they use. Every time there's an attack from one side, then the other side has to respond, but don't exacerbate things. Don't make things so bad that it turns into a big hoopla. And don't bomb Iran's oil fields or nuclear facilities, because that would set them back. It's all about the homogenation, which I've already talked about. It's the leveling. That's why Petri Dish and Gargoyle, who was in there with every movie made, decided to give Iran a break and not, enforce the sanctions imposed by Orangey and let Iran make a lot of money so that they can proceed to have terrorism everywhere so that we can respond and keep making bombs. And now it's very obvious to everybody, so it's really ridiculous. We're just putting up with it. It's the Illuminati saying, we're doing it. We're doing it right in front of your face. We're destroying you right in front of your eyes. And we double dare you to do anything about it, because if you do, we'll treat you like we did on the January 6ers. So don't you dare say a word about what we're doing. Okay. I'll tell you more about the Illuminati, and this guy probably thinks he's part of the Illuminati. He's a nobody. He will be discarded as soon as the elites achieve what they want. This guy named Axelrod. He's been an apparatchik for the Obama philosophy and the whole 9 yards. Obama, Petrie, Gargoyle. He's been a loyal and stalwart fan. Like Seward to Macbeth. Just a bloody aid. And he comes out and says it. Okay. Hurricane comes through. Now, I had my serious misgivings about how this whole thing worked out, because I think I said it. I don't know, but I was thinking, why is this hurricane barreling through the southeastern part of the United States, but only certain places are getting inundated? And I've seen evidence on Redacted and this and that the weather was manipulated in order to inundate certain areas. Now that goes along with the Lahaina thing and everything else. Anybody that's into conspiracy theories and thinking that nothing's like we think it is, only the smart people know that the elites are softening the, target and getting things ready for their takeover. Lahaina has too many locals there. It's a nice place for us to have one of our little, touristy areas. To have luxury hotels and have Mai Tais and, the whole 9 yards and do whatever. I'll say P. Diddy, I'll say Epstein, do whatever. We're the elite, we do what we want. I won't go more into that, but let's just talk about this hurricane now. Axelrod, the Illuminati illuminates. They say what they're doing in front of your face. So what's Axelrod say to some media idiot, CNN? Some of the places were cities which are occupied by the liberal elites, and they will have the wherewithal to vote. But all those rural villages and Appalachian areas and places are all full of orangey MAGA Republicans. So they probably won't figure out how to vote. He said it outright. So take from that what you will. But let's go on with where's the outrage. Okay. Everybody knows that these can get away with everything because their hearts are in the right place. They can be artists. They can be child emists. They can be debauched people without any morals, but if they have a D next to their name, they are excused, absolved, because their hearts are in the right place. They are for the people. I give you as an example one Doug Emhoff. Emhoff? I don't give a crap. I hope I don't have to remember his name, but Doug Emhoff, who is the husband of Gargoyle. Now, if it was a Republican female, such as Candace Owens or Tulsi Gabbard, who was the Republican nominee for the president of what used to be the United States, and she had a husband who impregnated a nanny while he was married and had an abortion, and later has been known to hit women in France while on a junket or on a trip because he was probably mad at something. And I know how women can get you mad. I know that very well. But if you're going to hit a woman, which you shouldn't, don't do it where people see. And I can't say I've ever hit anybody. I mean, we've gotten into fights and you have to defend yourself. I mean, my wife was a Spitfire and she would attack you physically, so you do what you have to do. But I never lashed out because of something she did. I mean, I just never, that's just not something you do. But this Emhoff guy did. Now, this little red-haired girl who still seems to be in the limelight, she got a job with MSN. And she's smart. She got out of that petri dish debacle early and secured herself a nice job in the media of a network that will be defunct soon. But she's talking to Emhoff and saying he's redefining the definition of masculinity by impregnating a nanny while he's married and encouraging an abortion and then hitting some woman. This is before he got married to Gargoyle. Now, I'm sure he's minding his P's and Q's now. I have no doubt that he's doing everything right until she loses. And then it's back to business. But the line is good. Where's the outrage? There is no outrage. He's a D. He's a he's a Renaissance man. He's the new ideal of taking a back seat to the woman who's going to be in charge. Now, already gone 13, 14 minutes. I haven't talked about Gargoyle. So, her back's up against the wall. And they know it. You can tell. And we got about 29 days left. And like I said, if it looks like Gargoyle isn't going to win, they're going to do something to make sure we don't have an election. Either that or Orangey's going to win. And they can't have that. So, Gargoyle's going on the media circuit. She's going to suddenly go out and get her word out to, I don't know, call me daddy. Some couple of skanks that talk about having sex. I haven't watched them, so I'm not going to say. Just when I heard a couple of skanks talking about having sex and supporting abortion so that they can have sex with strangers, and if any accident happened, they can discard the fetus. So that's a good program to be on. Howard Stern, never liked him. Didn't like him before, don't like him now. He was boring. Never made me laugh. So all that hoopla about what he was like in 1980 didn't faze me one bit. Only thing good about him was he was a cross-dresser. This is only redeeming. And she's going to go on The View, where I'm sure she will be grilled by the ladies. They will be very even-handed about interviewing Gargoyle and making sure that Orangey isn't unfairly maligned. And what else is she going on? A few other... Oh yeah, Colbert. I liked him better in his old show. He's way funnier in his old show when he pretended to be a conservative. Hilarious. Really a good show. Now, he is down there with a viral bacteria that should not be allowed to be anywhere near living beings. So she'll be on that show, and then I guess she's going to do 60 Minutes, which used to be kind of a good probing news show, even though it was jam-packed full of liberal idiots, such as the father of Doug, whoever those people were. We all know how it goes. 60 Minutes has turned into a propaganda arm of the Democratic Party, so we all know that. So she's going to go on a lot of shows, and she's going to get her word out, and it's going to be fun because she's going to F up no matter what show she goes on. There's going to be reams and reams of cannon fodder, of ammunition to use against her after she's done with these easy softball interviews, because she can't speak extemporaneously, and we want to elect her as president of what used to be the United States at a time when the world couldn't be more in trouble, more unstabilized, more at the brink, and every bad thing is going to happen. Now I have a few more minutes. I'm going to make this a long one because there's a lot to talk about. All right. The longshoreman went back to work. That leader guy who makes $900,000 a year and basically looks like a gangster is got a brain. He's looked at the writing on the wall and goes, let's take the 62% and we'll fight about this later. Because if we go on strike now during this hurricane business, people are going to hate our guts and they won't want us to have anything, and they'll want to replace us with machines as quickly as possible. So he was very smart to do that, so that's one less dilemma. But just as the people from North Carolina are learning that the money that they were supposed to get to rebuild their lives has been given to illegal immigrants and given to people to repay their loans, they're suddenly getting angry. And I think they're going to find a way to vote. I don't care if they have to go crawling over hot glass. They are going to vote. And Orangey will get the majority of the votes, but he may lose anyway because they cheat their freaking asses off. But I want to conclude with the hurricane. It was bad. There's certain parts of North Carolina that got a 20-foot swell of water going through, decimating everything. FEMA's doing nothing but harm. And now guess what? Remember that cartoon, Milton the Monster? I'm Milton, your brand new son. The monster that was created by Professor Weirdo and Count Kook. It was a great cartoon when I was a kid, and he was a friendly monster because they put too much of this certain chemical, too much tenderness in to his body components, and he turned out to be a nice monster, which perplexed and irritated Professor Weirdo. But never mind that. Milton the monster is coming toward Florida. And they're building it up to be something really bad. And they already said that FEMA cannot afford another disaster. So what's going to happen is this. In 2 or 3 days, when Milton decimates Tampa and Orlando and then heads out to sea, people are going to be pissed. And it's right before the so-called election, and Gargoyle is doing horribly, and Orangey is just getting more and more popular by the day. So I don't want to say anything more. I'll bring it up later, but no matter what the outcome is, it's going to be absolutely horrible. But I will say this. If Orangey wins, I'm going to laugh my head off. I'm going to be freaking on the floor. It's going to make my day. Because I cannot wait to see the wokesters, like Bruce Springsteen, who I stopped liking after he shaved his beard, endorse this Gargoyle. Which means there's a whole segment of society that's absolutely deluded, deranged. They don't understand anything. They can't think straight. Stick to writing songs. I liked him when he played Born to Run at the Super Bowl, but these liberal idiots. So it's too long now, but I said a lot, and comment if you like, because I'm hearing nothing and I'm pretty alone here. Thanks everybody. Enjoy what's coming.